What's up, Ozarks? It's me, Chris Pinson, your weekend sports anchor here at Ozarks First. Let's talk about what happened. What major event took place Thursday night here in the Ozarks just a few days ago? It's something that is slowly becoming a very popular trend across America. I'm talking about the volleyball match, the outdoor volleyball match between Central and Parkview, two longtime rival high schools that have been playing against each other for over 100 years. But this year, we finally had a showcase, something way different than we've ever seen in a regulation high school season match. We had Central and Parkview play at Central's football field, and they played a regular season match of volleyball. This one counted in the books for the Misha season, and it was something you just had to be there to experience. I mean, look at this. The beautiful sunset going down over the stadium. You've got the outdoor court right here. Central was in the pink, Parkview in their green jerseys and shirts. I mean, this was such a spectacle, something that the Ozarks had never really seen before in this Springfield area. And to be a part of this, to be up top and see this and see the excitement from the players, from the coaches, from the fans that were there. I mean, it was awesome. And you could tell how cool of an environment this was based upon the way that this entire thing came together. I mean, these two teams, they played back and forth. This was great action from both teams as the coaches here, they were rallying their players, trying to get them to play their hardest. But I don't think the girls really needed a whole lot of motivation because, well, they just went out there and tried to play to win because that's what they do every single game. But let's talk about exactly why this is significant, okay? This is significant because just 2 years ago at Memorial Stadium in Nebraska, 92,000 people packed that stadium where normally the Nebraska Cornhuskers play football, the Blackshirts, AKA. I mean, Nebraska football has the longest sellout streak there is in college football. It's going on for 40 or 50 years, 4 or 5 decades. Every game, the Nebraska Blackshirt faithful show up to sell that stadium out. And on this particular night 2 years ago, Nebraska played an outdoor volleyball match, and it was sold out. Since then, schools in Georgia, New York, Ohio, and here now in the Show Me State, Missouri, have taken this tradition, and they are starting to use it to their advantage to showcase a sport that's traditionally indoors, right? It's the kind of the prelude to basketball season. It's your first real indoor sport before we get to the harshness of winter. And so at that event, that night, sitting there, standing on the sidelines, watching the action unfold, is kind of the mastermind behind it. That'd be Josh Scott, the athletic director of Springfield Schools. So I caught up with him, and here's his thoughts on the inspiration of this event and what he kind of thought about pulling it all together.
We started with the idea, and we're looking at what can we do with our volleyball program and to do something different and special. And honestly, there was a group out of Bolivar that bought this floor, and we knew this floor had been down to West Plains on the field for Jamboree. We knew Bolivar had played on it before, maybe even Mountain Home has played a game down there. But as far as I know, there hasn't been a regular season match in Springfield or Southwest Missouri. And so we thought, what a great night to have one.
So how about that? From Bolivar to West Plains, right? This thing has happened. It's actually taken place before. But here in Springfield, never before has this happened. Never before have two Springfield area teams been able to go outdoors and play a volleyball match in a football stadium until Thursday night, until just a few nights ago when this actually finally happened. What a cool event this truly was to cover. And you also got to see some of the homecoming court because it was Central's homecoming. So you had a couple volleyball players that were in the court. You had their classmates, their peers dress up and announce the homecoming court. I mean, this was a great planned and well-executed event. And again, it was all part of the inspiration from 2 years ago with Nebraska doing this, and now Springfield has this. Now, why would they do it now, right? Why pick the end of September, early October? Why pick that? Why not pick it, early on, right? When the fresh part of the season's going on and the hype is very real for teams trying to play. Well, take a listen to Josh Scott and hear what he had to say about kind of getting lucky with the timing of the weather.
Well, I think one of the things that you look at, and we got extremely lucky with the weather, but having an outdoor court in the sun in August and early September, it's really hot, right? And honestly, we really lucked out with getting 80-degree temperatures, a little bit of cloud cover early, no rain. I mean, just think what it would have been if it was a week and a half ago. We would have been inside of one of our college partners probably. Well, I think.
So there you have it. Luckily, Mother Nature cooperated, right? It was a beautiful evening there going down to the stadium. You had the sun setting behind it. It was nice outside. You know, there were people in light jackets because we are at the tail end of September and early October. So fall weather is making its official arrival. But, you know, if you didn't have a jacket, it wasn't like you were that cold. I wasn't wearing one, and I was standing on top of the PA box, right? The press box. I'm standing way up there to get those shots looking down on the court. And it was kind of blustery, but it really wasn't that chilly. So no rain, great temperature, and just a beautiful evening for this brand new event. Hopefully a tradition that will take place every year. But again, getting lucky with Mother Nature in some of these instances is a very big deal. Case in point, remember a few years ago when Roger Goodell took a chance and had the Super Bowl in New York? How big of a deal that was because, hey, it's middle of February. It's the Northeast. It could be a blizzard. It could be awful. Turned out to be a great Super Bowl because Mother Nature cooperated, as she did here on Thursday night with this very first outdoor volleyball regular season match in Springfield between Central and Parkview. You just couldn't ask for a better opportunity to make something like this as big, as wonderful, amazing as it was. And luckily, Mother Nature cooperated. Now, as for what he thought about the event itself, right? The people coming in, watching the match, the players, the excitement, the hype. What did the athletic director of Springfield Public Schools, Josh Scott, think about this spectacle and how it turned out?
It's just awesome. You know, you look at the ability to have volleyball girls on a showcase. It's exciting. These girls work their butts off, both Parkview and Central. They've had good years. They're working, they're enjoying what they're doing, and to say, hey, come play in front of about 500 to 1,000 people, that's a special night for them.
Bada bing. Everybody's happy. Everybody loved what it turned into and what it turned out to be. Again, this is a new thing that's really catching on fire. Volleyball teams, high school or collegiate, playing outdoors in a football stadium. Now, normally, right, it might be hard for some programs that aren't that great to get a crowd for volleyball, right? To come see them just sit in a gym where it's climate controlled, where it's away from the elements, right? Exactly why we love basketball, especially in the winter. But this spectacle, this event being held in Springfield, just trying it out. I mean, when I talked to Josh Scott, I asked him, I said, how'd you really pull this off? He said, well, I talked to the coaches. And I said, what do you think? You think you want to be a part of something like this? They're like, shoot, yeah, why not? Right? Why not get the community more excited, more involved, more interested in what you're doing as an athletic program, as a school? You know, we always talk about how it takes a village to raise a kid, right? Well, obviously, when you've got a school or schools full of thousands of kids, you got to figure out a way to reach them and have the community reach out to them for help or for support or encouragement. And this was one of the best things to do. And after things were over, I talked to Josh Scott and I said, "What do you think? Do you think this will be an annual event?" He's like, "Well, let's not hedge our bets just yet, but certainly it looks like it has the possibility of maybe doing this." Right? Again, the people were out there, the fans loved it, the community loved it, the players loved it, the coaches had such a fun time. I mean, this kind of thing should be, in my opinion, a tradition every single year. Doesn't matter, right? If it's just two schools playing, right? Every year if it rotates in the Springfield area and you only have two schools play it once a year. Either way, this kind of new tradition can really bring about a new spark to the area. It's something that on an annual basis, done once a year, can create a major buzz because this is really a brand new thing to the sports world at the high school and collegiate level. This is something that is so fresh and refreshing to sports fans and sports media. We're all about it. So believe me, I'm hoping and praying this event, outdoor volleyball, regular season match, will become a mainstay tradition here for the Springfield public school system. Kudos to Josh Scott and his staff and all the people involved in pulling this off, and the schools for willing to jump into this, to just dive head first and say, let's have some fun. Let's create a new buzz, a new tradition. Or if it's just a once-off, why not see how it turns out? And it turned out awesome. So for this thing to get off the ground with style and flair and be a home run, I mean, come on. What's stopping us from doing it every year? And by the way, if you're wondering, Central did win this match in straight sets. They won all three. They won all three sets to defeat their rival Parkview and then celebrate homecoming. But if you're a sports fan or just a person who wants to know really what is going on with your community, how are the schools in your community that your tax dollars go to, how are they helping to impact people, young people? How are they helping to promote them, to promote the positive that they are working on in their learning to be adult years? Now you're seeing it. And with this kind of support, with this kind of trust, and this kind of showcase and demonstration that, hey, we're not just going to sit around and say, yeah, it's the regular season, just do your thing, have a good year, good luck, maybe see you in the playoffs. This kind of buy-in, this kind of show me the money, if you will, from Jerry Maguire, right? This kind of prove it to me, this kind of effort from the administration to make sure something like this can be possible, is possible. Yeah, that to me makes a statement about what they're trying to do here in Springfield, how this system is trying to give all of its athletes a bigger piece of the pie, a bigger piece of notoriety, a bigger piece of community support. So tip of the hat to Parkview and Central for doing this. Tip of the hat to Josh Scott for getting it organized. And I'm hopeful that we will see a lot more of this in the future. Again, you never know what can be successful until you try. And if it failed, well, guess what? They'd never do it again. But in this case, with the fans there in attendance, the community out supporting and loving this, and the players and coaches having so much fun doing it, I really, truly hope we see a lot more of this, because innovation like this, refreshing new concepts that push the envelope, that change the way things used to be, that is what the progression of success is all about. If you fail, you learn from it. If you succeed, you keep going and you learn from it. It's the best of both worlds. Hey, this is Chris Penson, your weekend sports anchor here with Ozarks First. Got a lot more stuff coming up on the burner. Trust me, you'll want to stick around and hear all about it. Keep it right here on ozarksfirst.com for more digital updates. See you then.